There was a lot of confusion on page 3C with number 10. So I'm going to go over this. Now, number 10 says y minus 6 equals 3 times x minus 4. I'm going to put right underneath this y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1, because I realize that way I can identify x sub 1, y sub 1, and the slope. So x sub 1 is 4, y sub 1 is 6, and my slope is 3, or 3 over 1. Okay? Now, had it been, it's not, but had it been y plus 6 equals 3 times x plus 4, let's think about how that would change the point. If y minus y sub 1, well, that means negative y sub 1 is 6, so that means y would be negative 6, and x would be negative 4. So remember, when we have point-slope form and we identify the point, we switch, x and y switch, and we change the sign. So it looks like negative 6, negative 4, but the real point is 4 first, change the sign. Positive 4, positive 6. Not negative 6, negative 4, but positive 4, positive 6. So once you know the point and a slope, you graph the point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I graph the point 4, 6. Now, if my slope is 3 over 1, I'm going to rise 3, run 1. So I go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. But if you look at your graph, you don't have the option of rising because yours is at the top. So what do I do then? Well, remember we said instead of rising positive 3 over positive 1, that negative 3 over negative 1 was equivalent, because when you simplify it, it comes to a 3. So I could also go down 1, 2, 3 over 1. Down 1, 2, 3 over 1. And connect my dots. Okay? Now, let's just do another one. Let's do number, because this one's a little tricky. Let's do number 13. And number 13's a little tricky because it has just a negative there. Well, what does just a negative as a slope mean? Well, if it's just a negative, it's really a negative 1. Okay, so when you just see a negative, that means m equals negative 1 over 1. If negative y sub 1 is 2, then positive y sub 1 would be negative 2. And that's going to be a positive 1. So again, we do the opposite of what we see with x. We see a negative 1, we write a 1. We see a positive 2, we write a negative 2. X always comes first in the ordered pair, even though in this equation, y came first. So don't put 2, negative 1. Don't put negative 1, 2. The correct answer is 1, negative 2. So now to graph this, I start with 1, negative 2. I start with the point. Now my slope says go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, or I could do 1 over negative 1, which also equals negative 1, and that means I rise 1, negative 1, rise 1, negative 1, and that's what my line looks like.